Do you feel like you need to make any adjustments to your game after the last two?
Offensively,
Yeah.
got to be more physical. They were, I don't know if you can tell on the film. Well, I don't know if y'all watched it, but they really they were more physical than us. When it came down to it, they played harder than us. They flew around better than us, and ultimately, at the end of the day, they wanted more than us. And I think that was pretty evident on Sunday.
Hey, Kyler, Clips mentioned just that he's struggled to get your offense in a rhythm. Like, what for you as a quarterback gets you in a rhythm? Is it tempo? Is it pace? Is it just not making mistakes?
I don't think it's about getting in a rhythm. Past 2 weeks, the Lions, we moved the ball perfectly fine. Last week, besides the first two drives, when we got going, we moved the ball fine. Obviously, had the strip. Like I said, that halted the drive. But for us, I don't think it's about moving the ball. We can move the ball. I think for us as a team, it's more about playing complementary football, and we got to do that a lot better. The defense will get a stop, but we'll go 3 and out. We'll score. We'll give up a touchdown. We got to be on the same accord. We got to play better complementary football to be or be where we want to be at the end of this thing.
Tyler, you mentioned feeling like you moved the ball. So is it fair to say that it doesn't really bother you at any point if you guys aren't necessarily, let's say, in the passing game, getting the ball down the field a little bit, as long as the ball is moving, it doesn't really impact you or frustrate you in any way?
No. Are we specifically talking about this past weekend? Because I feel like the first 3 weeks the ball was going downfield.
I guess I'm just talking in general, just about how you kind of, as a quarterback, and I guess in this case we are talking about last week, but like just
Okay.
in general.
Um, I feel like you're trying to make it seem like you're talking about the whole season, but then you make it to about last week. Last week was 1 week. We're not, like I said, we're not panicking over 1 week. The first 3 weeks, the ball's downfield. I don't know what to tell you.
Next up, Bob, Josh, Catherine.
Kyler, it seemed like a year ago at this time, the team just made a conscious effort to really try to run the ball, which kind of opened things up for everybody and yourself. But do you think you guys are at that point where that's something you have to do this week?
You said this time last year we were running the ball?
You start, yeah, you had started to make a conscious effort around week 5, week 6.
Yeah. I think we're more advanced in the whole offensive process to be able to, not have the stats or, not, like I said, not have the stats that we're probably looking for in the run game to be able to win, doing other things. But, I think it'll help us all out if we run the ball a little bit better.
Hey, Kyler, we've talked to DeAndre over the last couple of weeks about how he's kind of a big fan of history, reads a lot. Has he talked to you a lot about, or at all, about kind of some of the books he reads? He wears Denmark Vesey's name on the back of his helmet. Has he had any discussions with you about any of that?
He talks about a lot of stuff. I don't know what he tells y'all, but he's a bright guy. Like basically what you're telling me. Yeah, I would say. I know he reads. I know he does a lot of things that people probably wouldn't think that he would do in his off time. He's an interesting dude for sure.
Hey, Kyler. When we talked to Dan Arnold yesterday, he was saying how the team kind of needed to refocus during practice, especially. So what did the focus feel like today? Did it feel any different than past weeks?
Yeah, I think there was a sense of urgency. I haven't felt that urgency since before week 1. Going into that game, you could tell it was a different vibe. At finishing camp and then going into that first game, and then obviously being on 2-game losing streak. understanding, every game is, we're looking at every game as a must-win, obviously, but we got to get back on the right track, and I think you feel that today at practice.
We'll wrap it up with the last three. Sierra, Bob, Darren.
I was just going to ask that same thing as kind of what's the vibe like at practice, but you already said there's a sense of urgency. We heard last week that you guys kind of have a chip on your shoulder. So is that same type of vibe carrying over?
Yeah, it was great vibes at practice.
Do you believe in must-win games in Week 5?
I feel, to me, that's how I view it. I view every game as a must-win. Obviously, we haven't won them all, but that's my mindset. Can't speak for everybody else.
Tyler, with everything going on in the league, just talking about the COVID situation and them kind of updating the protocols and obviously you have a mask on, do you feel like in the front of players' minds anymore right now than it has been, or is it pretty much just as usual as you guys have been going through this season?
I mean, like, you wake up every day and somebody else has it, so it's like for me, I try to stay really, like I've told y'all before, I'm real low key. So I mean, if I'm not here at practice, I'm trying to be in the house as much as possible. I don't really, cause you never know, and even parents, spouses, anybody, could be anybody. You never know, anybody in the building, and then it's just I understand the responsibility that I have, being the quarterback of this team. If I get it, putting the team in a tough spot. Obviously, we have faith in everybody, but I can't help us if I'm not on the field. So that's I'm trying to stay as safe as possible.